Hey Brick Maniacs, welcome back to another Friday Sit Rep. We're out here in California getting ready to celebrate the anniversary of our Vallejo store. So we will be dropping those new exclusives this next weekend. You can check us out on Saturday starting at 11 when that store is open. If you want to swing by and check out the Missouri and meet the crew and all that fun stuff as well. We are still running our spring sale as well online, so you can use that promo code APR15, save yourself 15% on pretty much everything online and in stores as well. We've had an absolutely awesome time out here in San Diego. The Miramar Celebration was a huge success, so thank you to everybody who came out to that. Really fun to shake some hands, see some familiar faces, meet some new ones, and of course hang out with that beautiful Macon Island, which was just a ton of fun. Huge shout out to the Miramar Brickmania crew. They've done a great job decking that thing out with a bunch of Easter eggs and fun stuff. So I can tell you right now, if you've been to Miramar before and feel like going again, I can almost promise you that Macon probably isn't looking the exact same way as it did before, because they've done a great job keeping that thing updated and awesome. So that was a ton of fun. We also got to see some really cool stuff while out here, which is all part of the deal. So we've really been enjoying ourselves. So thank you to everybody who has made this a very special trip. We're very excited to start heading north now. We'll get into the Bay Area here on Thursday, and then obviously do our celebrating on Saturday, which, like I said, we're really looking forward to. So, but for all you guys following along online and on social media, this week is indeed Bradley week. We've got an updated one in that woodland camo with some really cool updates, so to speak. But I'll let Dan speak a little bit more on that. So let's dive on in. All right, at long last, Dan can just worry about holding onto the model and showing off features and let somebody else do the camera work. So it's been a minute since we've been back together for anything other than designer studios. So kind of cool to be able to check this out while on the road out here in San Diego. But this is the new Bradley. And Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what this one brings to the table?
All right, well, this is usually in the past, all the Bradleys we've done have been kind of the general M2, M3 version, but I did make it more of a specialized M2A3 version, which is like a late 2000s. Basically, they upgraded it after the Gulf War with a whole bunch of the first Iraqi Desert Storm, I should say. They incorporated a lot of upgrades to the armor, upgrades to the electronics, and the optics, all this stuff, and then standardized it finally as the M2A3 or the A3 versions. In the late 2000s. So that's what this represents. This is what the U.S. Army would currently be using in the infantry fighting vehicle role. So you'd have your two guys up here, your driver down in this compartment, and then you could have up to 6 infantry guys in the back. So we'll go through that right now. So there is a spot for a driver. I don't have a figure in there. I could have stuck one in there. We're on the road, so I didn't have a whole bunch. I do have these stand-in Coast Guard guys here in the commander and the gunner's hatches, but you'll have a driver in here. Kit comes with 2 figures represented by the 2 stand-ins here. The back, of course, has the ramp for your infantry fighting vehicle, infantry guys to go into.
Yeah, and plenty of interior space too. If you do like to load up your kit with minifigures you can't necessarily see, you definitely have the space to do so.
I could actually show you how to do that here.
There you go.
The roof hatch does open up. I don't have everything on here. I built this before we hit the road. There are actually going to be a couple of periscopes over this back ramp here, which I just didn't have time to do before we left. But we'll pull this roof section off so you can actually see a little bit on the interior. Did build in some storage containers on here, so your cans of Rip It can be in the little refrigerators on here. So, this does have another unique set of Rip It cans that will be included with the kit. So if you have the new matching Abrams, you'll have to get the Bradley, because it actually has a follow-up set.
New flavor.
Yeah, new flavors. Yeah. So that does give you an idea of what's inside. You can fit your guys inside. There is a turret basket spot. In the real thing, there is this cylinder inside the vehicle that is where the turret basket is. Your guys would be sitting in here. Your commander and gunner would be sitting inside that bustle there, or inside the basket. Not a whole. I guess another thing I did change is that we do have back to a little bit more functional suspension. Changed the wheels up from previous versions. Rolls real smooth. So I can't do it on this table, but yeah, look at that. I mean, that's nice and smooth. Plus, you do have that sort of suspension. It's not sprung like the tanks. If I was to spring it with actual, like a rubber suspension, like a shock absorber kind of thing, I would have to lose some of the space inside the vehicle.
Yeah, the interior. I feel that.
I think this is a good compromise. It has semi-functional suspension, but at the same time, it rolls real well, and you still have all that interior space to work with.
Now, one of the cool things about this update is that we're doing something a little different with the barrel, right?
Yeah, the barrel is, on here it's just a stand-in, but
Right.
we are going to be 3D printing that barrel. It's that M224 chain gun.
From the NZLAV?
Yeah, same thing. It's all the LAV, all the LAV 25, I guess, would be where that gun would be also mounted for. But we just introduced it in the NZLAV. It's the same gun that's in the Bradley, so we're going to use that as well. I don't have a 3D printed copy of it. Unfortunately, I forgot to request one be sent along when these guys came out.
It's all right. You can check out the website for a little closer look at those renders.
Right. And also, speaking of stuff missing, you obviously aren't seeing any of the printed parts. So
yes.
all of this side armor will be printed. It's not actually, you're not looking at the final configuration too. I have to stress that this is just an early prototype. What actually went into production is a little bit, actually quite a bit more refined than this.
Okay.
You're looking at a good approximation of it. You will have all the side reactive armor tiles printed. The reactive armors on the deck here will be printed on the front slope. There is other sensors that will be printed. There's actually some sensors missing. So there's the driver's thermal here. There's another thermal up here. It's a sight up here actually that's actually missing on this model. And you have a thermal up here for the commander. So I just want to show you that the TOW missile launcher does deploy.
Yeah, sweet. Definitely no shortage of opening hatches and various play features on here, and then obviously cool to see those upgrades when it comes to the barrel and the suspension as well. Not to mention a woodland camo variant, which I believe the last two I think we've done have only been in that tan desert version.
Yeah, I think we're on version maybe up to version 3 now. This will be the fourth. I think this is the fourth Bradley, but the first time we've done it anything other than tan.
Sweet. Well, there you have it. You can complete the collections if you already got the Abrams on pre-order. They'll definitely look pretty good next to each other. Once again, go ahead and check out the website if you want to take a closer look at the figures and all the 3D printing, and then obviously the UV printing as well as we get it all touched up. And then once we got a final model in hand, we'll make sure to do Designer Studio for it. So there you have it. The new Bradley. Dan, thanks for checking in. All right, Brick Maniacs, that'll just about do it for me here on a Friday. Like I said, very excited to head north and celebrate the 1-year anniversary of our Mare Island location in Vallejo. And we are continuing that spring sale through Monday, so make sure to use that promo code APR15 all weekend long. Save yourself 15%, and then that'll wrap up on Monday with a new round of restocks. So, as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll check in later in the week.